Now, ever since Donald Trump took office, his White House staff has been leaking like a sieve to the press. Now, these newest leaks actually show the outsized role Steve Bannon has taken in the White House. Now, Bannon, of course, has had a long and varied career. He had once worked on Wall Street, was once part of the Navy, and then, of course, ran Breitbart News. Now, Bannon, during the presidential campaign, he backed Donald Trump, became one of his advisors, and now occupies the position of White House chief political strategist. So he's your politics guy. I've got nothing wrong with that, except I abhor his politics. But hey, I'm allowed to disagree with his politics. He's allowed to disagree with mine. That's fine. Okay. Now, the problem is that while he's in this position, he's starting to take roles outside of that purview. Now, according to these leaks, Bannon has taken a much bigger role than he should, and this role should actually frighten you. Now, this is according to an anonymous intelligence official inside of Donald Trump's cabinet. Now, he spoke to Foreign Policy magazine, and basically what it says is that Bannon has now taken control of domestic and national security police. He is now in control of the department that decides who we can kill extrajudicially. Remember, Obama allowed that power to happen, where he could order the extrajudicial killings of people like Anwar al-Awlaki, which he did. And in a related story, Donald Trump killed his sister. So it was an 8-year-old girl. So Steve Bannon has that power now to mark people for extrajudicial killings. It's insanity. Now, again, scary thought, right? He's in control of the cops. Who knows what kind of damage he's going to do to Americans? Because unlike Donald Trump, Bannon actually knows what he's doing. And based on his work at Breitbart, doesn't mean a whole lot of good things for African Americans, immigrants, and Latinos. I mean, look, at Breitbart, there's a section called Black Crime. No white crime section, just a black crime section. And look, African Americans and white people commit crimes and do drugs at about the same rate. But it just enforces that stereotype of black people are thugs or black people are criminals. Look, this is going to be a disaster for civil rights. Like, I knew we already kind of expected the Trump administration to be a disaster, but holy crap. This is going to be bad. And now it gets worse. Not only did this source paint a picture of a White House that is dysfunctional, it's also being run without checks and balances and without a complete paper trail. Now, the source says even before he was given a formal seat on the National Security Council's Principals Committee, this weekend by President Trump, Bannon was calling the shots and doing so with little to no input from the National Security Council staff, according to an intelligence official who asked not to be named out of fear of retribution. Now, that move, in theory, according to the New York Times, put Mr. Bannon on the same level as his friend Michael Flynn, the National Security Advisor. Now, again, this is unprecedented. Having this guy be at this level of power, someone who is a former political strategist being elevated to the National Security Council and to the level of General Michael Flynn. Oh. Now, the source says he is running a cabal almost like a shadow National Security Council. Now, he also described a work environment where there's little appetite for dissenting opinions, no paper trail of what's being discussed and agreed upon at meetings, and no guidance or encouragement so far from above about how the National Security Council staff should be organized. So again, Trump is keeping his hands off, and he's saying, I don't know, Bannon, you run it. I'm lazy. I'm going to go watch Fox News. Oh, not good. Not good at all. Now, the official also said that the National Security Council staff have been cut off from reviewing White House executive orders. Now, that has been a practice in previous administrations as well. Now, additionally, Bannon is insisting that the NSC make its recommendations without producing a traditional paper trail known as the Summary of Conclusions. Now, again, even the George W. Bush administration, which we credited before as being an incredibly inept administration, even they had a paper trail. Even at least they knew how to do paperwork, and they had some proper checks and balances. But again, according to this anonymous official, the Trump White House generated no SOCs during its first week. And now, this official has a theory about this. He says the lack of a paper trail is helping Bannon to concentrate power. He said, quote, "He who has the pen has the authority to shape outcomes." And Donald Trump has just given Steve Bannon a big pen. Now, look, there's part of the chaos here, and I understand that there's chaos in any sort of transition team, but with Trump's administration, look, I don't think it's chaos for chaos sake. I know there are some people like Donald Trump who has no idea what he's doing, but there are people in the administration that know exactly what they're doing, and it's more of a either kind of a smokescreen or a cover to try to consolidate power. And look, we used to say that Cheney during the Bush years was running the government. Now it's Steve Bannon. He's essentially calling the shots. He's the one who put the green card provision into the Muslim ban, despite there are others that actually disagreed with it. He overruled them because he's near the top of the pecking order for Donald Trump. So, and look, just to show you how much power and influence he has, he can overrule pretty much everyone and continue to get put in even more powerful positions. That's how much power and influence he has over Donald Trump. And he's going to use that power. However, the reason that we haven't seen it yet is it's still early in the administration, and he's right now busy at cleaning house. According to the source, Bannon right now is still conducting a witch hunt to find out who is leaking proposed executive orders to the press. He's going to find them, and he's going to fire them. He's going to get rid of them. The official explained there is zero room for dissenting opinion in the Trump White House. Now, look, does that sound like an administration that's willing to listen and compromise with the other side? I keep hearing all this stuff about, no, we just need to give Donald Trump a chance. We need to give the Trump administration a chance. We need to see if we can work with them on different policies. No, not going to happen. This administration is already showing that it doesn't care what anybody else thinks. Doesn't care what Democrats want. Doesn't care what even Republicans want. Because there are a lot of Republicans that are looking at this administration and going, what are you doing? What do you need to kind of bring it back a little bit, because hey, we want to do our priorities. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, man. I mean, with Bannon in charge and with Donald Trump essentially saying, signing anything that they put in front of his face, this is not going to be good. I don't know if Donald Trump's going to make it for the next 4 years. And if they get rid of him, we get Pence, which isn't much better. And you can go down the line. You get rid of Pence, you end up with Paul Ryan. So really, in the order of things, even if Donald Trump doesn't stay, you're still going to have this horrible administration for the next 4 years that's going to continue to flout the law and create constitutional crises what it seems like every week. Because that's what happened on the first week. This is why we need to not work with them. You want to know what obstruction is? We can show you what obstruction is. If the Democrats have the balls to do it, good. If not, primary their ass. 2018. And make sure that they don't get anything like this done. We've got to resist. We've got to fight back. We've got to stop them. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.